Welcome to the In Rhythm Sports Podcast. I'm Will, and I'm with my boy Graham here. Today we're going to talk about the Super Bowl that's tomorrow at 6:30 between the Bucks and the Chiefs. We're going to talk about the episode of LeBron versus Karen. We're going to talk about the NBA All-Star Game, and we're going to talk about Vision. Oh wait, no, I mean Uzi. Let's get it.
Redo that last part. It's a vision, bro. Like we're opening our third eye.
Should I do the whole thing over again?
Nah, just say Uzi's part again. Edit it right.
And we're going to talk about little Uzi Vert's new diamond in his head. Let's get it.
Bro, I'm gonna be laughing the whole time.
All right, at 6:30, Graham, we have the Super Bowl between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Kansas City Chiefs in Tampa Bay, and it's Tom Brady's 10th Super Bowl. It's Patrick Mahomes' second Super Bowl. And what are your thoughts about this game coming up tomorrow?
I think Pat Mahomes is going 2 for 2. Quite
You think
frankly,
you think Patty's going 2 for 2 in Tampa Bay against that vaunted defense with two offensive linemen out?
I can't see Pat Mahomes losing. I just can't.
I mean, honestly, I see him going for 400 yards regardless of how many offensive linemen he's got in the game.
The thing is with Pat Mahomes, this man has lost one playoff game in his career, and the only reason he lost is because the game went to overtime and he didn't get the ball. Other
Yeah.
than that, he's flawless.
And if that D Ford guy wasn't offsides and Brady threw that pick, then it would have been over anyway
Exactly.
too. So
That's
he's
the other
really
thing,
like
though.
he's really undefeated in the playoffs.
That's the thing, though. His one loss is to Brady. His one loss is to Tom Brady.
Yeah, and you can't bet on Brady. So like bettors gotta be having problems with picking this game because like you got the young Messiah, the young goat who's 25 out of his last 26 wins, and then you just got Tom Brady, who's the greatest quarterback of all time.
Honestly, though, I think the X factor is gonna be Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I mean
that man's so fast, and there would be three defenders around him, and he just runs by them. It's
well,
ridiculous.
that one play against the Bills was insane. He caught it a slant and then ran 70 yards, just juking people left and right, and then
He's
he got
ridiculous. You
tackled.
think someone's gonna close in on him, and then he's 10 yards away from them.
Yeah, that's why they call him the cheetah. But you know what? As Skip Bayless said on yesterday, he said that the Bucks defense is a bunch of lions, and once the lion catches the cheetah, it's a wrap.
The
But,
Bucks
I mean,
defense
they-
is scary. They do make noise. They do make noise.
Yeah, and and Jamel Dean, he wasn't in that Week 12 matchup when Tyreek Hill went for 7 catches, 203 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the first quarter.
That's different.
He wasn't in that game, and that's who's going to be covering him tomorrow instead of Carlton Davis. So that might help slow him down a little bit, but you can't slow him down, really. You just got to minimize his impact.
Yeah, you just
on the
gotta
game.
hope to limit him as much as possible.
I think if they hold him under 100 yards, that's a win tomorrow.
Yeah, and I think Antonio Brown on the other side is going to be a big difference maker.
If he's healthy, I mean, I know he's playing, but I mean, he didn't play last week, 2 weeks ago against the Packers, and then hopefully he's healthy because if they have AB, Godwin, and Mike Evans, there's no way they can cover all three of them with Cameron Brate and Rojo and Leonard Fournette coming out of the backfield with Gronk. from time
Exactly,
to
yeah.
time.
But the thing is, dude, Chris Godwin's he's had the little drop fever lately.
Oh, he has had the drops. He's making Delaware he's giving Delawareans like a heart attack. Like
That's what I'm saying. Like, I like Chris Godwin. He's usually a really reliable wide receiver, but I don't know. I've just seen him drop too many lately.
it started in the Washington game. He was pressing in the Washington game, and then he dropped a couple against the Saints, and then against the Packers, even right before his 50-yard catch, he had like a 13-yard post route that Brady threw right to his hands, and he just was like, "Nope, I'm not gonna catch this one."
I think it's his finger being healthy because he's been playing with a broken finger all year, and now that it's healthy, I think he doesn't know what to do with two hands.
Yeah, maybe he just wasn't using that finger earlier on the season, and now that he gets to use it, yeah, you're right. Maybe he doesn't know how to use his fingers.
That's what I'm saying. I
don't
think
know.
he's not used to it.
That's an interesting theory. I think the biggest key to the game is the pressure that the Chiefs need to get on Brady, because
Yeah,
I mean-
because we've seen Brady slip up and make some questionable throws. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
recently he's been very clean, but there is he does have a breaking point.
yeah, no, he definitely glitches when there's pressure up the middle on him. And a stat, I mean, I was looking at the stats yesterday a little bit, and I found that he had with pressure this season, he had a 33% completion percentage and 0 touchdowns and 6 interceptions when he had pressure applied to him.
Christ almighty,
And
that's the stat right there.
and when he didn't have pressure, he had a 69% completion percentage with 47 touchdowns and 9 interceptions, including the playoffs. So
Wow.
like if you get pressure on that man, he's Dwayne Haskins.
It seems like Chris Jones on the line is going to be the difference.
It seems like, I mean, the stats don't lie. Pressure means that Brady is flustered, and a flustered Brady means he's just going to be like, "Oh, Mike's up there somewhere,"
He's just going to be throwing that thing up and then yelling at everybody on the sideline.
and then he's going to start yelling at all of his offensive linemen, saying, "You guys got to block."
Then we get big Bruce Arians involved.
Oh man, BA man, that guy. I mean, if Andy Reid wins, he's gonna get his second cheeseburger. But I'm sure if the Bucks win, he's gonna get his first cheeseburger. He's gonna eat
He
that
might
up.
eat both for one occasion.
Oh yeah, Bruce Arians is a character. He's probably the most brutally honest coach in the NFL.
Hey, you kind of need those people, but at the same time, it can throw people off. We'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of gave him the wrong vibe in the beginning of the season, but end up. I mean, I tweeted out that he's the worst coach in the league multiple times this season, but
Yeah,
he's
we know
here.
how you
So
feel about him.
he's here, so I got to give him some credit. I mean, he almost blew that. He almost. It's good that he's letting Brady run the offense. Let's just say that. Let's just say that.
Yeah, yeah. And in this position, I think Brady has to be the one like calling the plays, taking over.
Well, yeah, BA's never been here before as a head coach. He's been here with the Steelers as the offensive coordinator, but not the same thing because Tomlin was really calling the plays. So,
On God, on God.
also, the weekend he's gonna be doing the halftime show. What do you think about his facelift?
I think that was the worst decision in in all of humankind. He looks like he is swollen, and then he was swollen after a boxing match, and then someone carved him like into something that's not. He looks like handsome Squidward. I don't know what he's doing.
So you say handsome Squidward. That's a good analysis. I would also say he's like Theodore's brother from Alvin and the Chipmunks. You know, Chubby Cheeks.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
And he's a good singer too. Like the weekend's talent is undeniable, but his facial lifting decision that's
You
questionable.
know, if the goal was to go viral, he did that because everyone was talking about it, just in the worst way possible.
Yes, and he put $7 million into this halftime show of his own money. I saw. So I mean, it could be a movie. I mean, maybe that 7 million went into his facelift.
Yeah, $7 million. Honestly, I better be getting like a front row seat at my house. I better be feeling like I'm at the concert if he's putting that much money in.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be. I mean, I wonder how hard it is gonna be with COVID and everything, because he probably won't have as much people helping move stuff around, or I don't know how those limitations or restrictions are gonna be, but he's gonna be putting on a clinic. I mean, the weekend's good. Like Rockstar, that's a hype song. Wait, is that a song or is that? Let's
I'm
talk
not a
about some.
weekend enthusiast, but I'm gonna roll with it. I'm gonna roll with
Yeah,
it.
let's just say, Rockstar is a song.
I have a feeling he's gonna bring someone out. I just have a
Who do
strong
you think?
feeling.
Who do you think it's gonna be?
Dude, I don't know. Another pop culture icon. I'm feeling.
Like Justin Bieber?
Maybe like Ariana Grande.
Oh,
Something
that'd be
like
fun.
that.
That'd be spicy. We got to look at singers or artists that are from Tampa, because with COVID, they couldn't pull many surprises. You got to quarantine for like 2 days if you're gonna be there. You know.
Yeah, yeah. They do want to play safe. That's why they're letting in 30,000 people.
Yeah, well, they have 7,500 first line
Nah, I
vaccinated.
respect that a lot. That's
That
actually a
that's
really
cool.
cool thing they did.
My question is, why don't they have more? Like, fill up the stadium with them.
Well, I think that would be going against all of the health protocols.
I mean, I feel that, but if they're vaccinated, you gotta let them in. I mean, they've been the MVPs of 2020 into 2021, so you gotta give them their time.
Let them live it up, just for one weekend.
Yeah, then they gotta get back to work because this COVID virus is not over yet.
It,
But
it's not going away. It's not going away.
enjoy the weekend and then get back to work. But we thank all frontline workers who have really saved the world in the past year on the In Rhythm podcast. Yeah.
That's a great statement. That's a great statement.
What's going to be key in the second half?
Second half, I
Second
think it's
half.
going to be a quarterback battle. And I think it's going to come down to the fourth quarter, and it's going to be which quarterback can handle the moment. Because they've both shown that they can, but which can really, Because both of them can't be amazing. Someone's going to fold. I know it. Someone's going to fold.
I agree. I think someone's going to, I don't know if fold's the word, but someone's going to underperform to what we expect them to do.
That's
Like,
a better way
I-
to put it. Because we have high standards for both of these guys. fourth quarter, very
I
high
feel like
standards.
we all expect them to both go for 12 for 12, 150 yards with two touchdowns in the fourth quarter if their team's down.
Exactly.
And I think it's going to come down to who makes the big play on defense. Maybe another strip sack like Brandon Graham got. I don't want to say this, but like Brandon Graham got on Brady in the Eagles Patriots Super Bowl. It's going to come down to a play like that. Maybe Chris Jones is going to get in there or JPP is going to get in there. One of them's going to make a big play.
I agree. My hot take about it is it's going to end on a field goal. A kicker is going to end the Super Bowl.
How fitting. In really, this is the 2020 Super Bowl, not the 2021 Super Bowl. In 2020, this is basically the last major event of 2020, the Super Bowl, since most of the season happened in 2020. So a soccer player finishing the football championship is very fitting.
I think it's going to happen. I really do.
So think, which way do you think it's going to go? Who's going to win by 3
Well, I'm
or
going
2
for
or
the
1?
Chiefs. I'm going for the Chiefs. So I think my boy Butker, he's kicking it right through the uprights. Right through the uprights.
His name is Harrison.
Yeah, we're gang like that.
And Graham's last name is Harrison for the folks that don't know.
Yep, all you new viewers.
I'm saying 38-31 Bucks. I'm thinking Brady's going to throw for 2 touchdowns. Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones are each going to get 1. I think maybe a big turnover by Mahomes is going to really impact this game late. And I think Brady's going to start training for next year as a 44-year-old quarterback with his date up in New England. Week 1 in New England, taking on Billy B up where it all started.
I am cheering for Tom Brady in the sense that if he gets his 7th, the scene on social media is going to be ridiculous.
Oh, he could be 10 for 27 with 95 yards and 4 interceptions. If they win this game tomorrow, the media is going to be insane.
It's going to be ridiculous because alongside LeBron, he has the most haters in sports. And they find anything to just attack this man.
I know their biggest argument is that he kisses his son, and it's you can't really defend that argument because it's
He
kind
be
of
slobbing on that.
yeah, like what are you like? Come on, man! Like how do you put that in a film about you?
He's like, "Come here, baby."
Yeah, like he's like, come on! Like he kissed him once, and he's like, come back here for more. Like he was like,
yeah, bro, that was a total violation. Can't defend him there.
But the thing I think the greatest comparison to Brady and LeBron was that LeBron was in the Eastern Conference for primarily his entire career, and the slander on him was like he had an easy road because the West was always more stacked. But then he goes to the West and does the same thing. Goes to the finals.
I will support LeBron through thick and thin. And he just ran through the West last year. And I want him to brag about it for the rest of his life. Because everyone was saying it's because he's in the East. Guess what? He went to the West. He walked through every single team. They were saying, oh, the Trailblazers, they're the best 8th seed ever. Walk through them.
4-1. 4-1.
Walk through them.
Well, wasn't it interesting how he always lost the first game and then always came back and like swept them after that?
Yeah, I don't know what that was, but it set a pretty good narrative on social media where people were just like, oh, these Lakers are overrated. And then they just don't lose again.
Crazy. And then Brady does the same thing. He plays in the AFC East, which we all know is a suspect division ever since he got there. Like, you had Henny, Fitzpatrick, Darnold, Mark Sanchez. But he did what he was supposed to do in there. And then he comes to the West. He comes to the NFC where you got Breeze, Rodgers, Russell Wilson. You know what? No problem in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. First year in the NFC, goes right through everyone. He kind of made a mockery of the NFC, if I don't say so myself.
Really? Like, he toyed with the Packers in the NFC Championship game. He said, I'll throw 3 picks. I'll handicap you guys 3 possessions.
He won Jameis Winston style, and I was for it.
Jameis must have been like, wow, I could have done this.
He could have, but you know what? It's only goes that way for Tom.
The breaks fall for Tom. I thought that pass interference at the end of the Packers-Bucks game was a little suspect. Just because they threw it late. Like, he was definitely holding the back of his jersey.
Man,
but
it caused quite a discussion, though. It did.
Yeah, I don't think Jameis would have gotten that call.
You're right about that. I don't think he's getting that call.
Let's just put it like that. I don't think Jameis Winston's getting that call in that moment.
I don't even know if that ball is catchable. But, he did grab his jersey.
Yeah, that's the facts. He grabbed the jersey.
Can't deny that.
So I think Graham and I disagree on the final of this game, but we both agree that it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a close game, and we're both looking forward to it.
1,000%.
And if you bet it, and that guy who betted $2.46 million for Brady, You're the man, because you know what they say: never bet on Brady. Never, I mean against Brady. Never bet
Yes, sir.
against Brady.
Mattress Mac. Shout him out. Let's go.
Mattress Mac. All right, next topic: LeBron versus courtside Karen.
Oh, brother.
Now, Graham, give us a breakdown. What happened here?
Here's what happened. You have some 25-year-old white lady
Juliana Carlos.
with her 65-year-old husband. Let's just set that straight. You see what's happening right now. I don't know how these rich people are the ones that just get to watch the games. Because they know nothing about the sport. They just want to get drunk and yell at people. Which is what happened. And you don't want to yell at just anyone. You want to yell at the greatest player in the game of basketball. So guess what? LeBron's going to fire back. He probably said some words. I know it was on camera that he called the husband a steroid-looking boy or something like that. Which is very fair to say, because that man is... he's definitely on steroids. To have 65-year-old body, but like a 40-year-old body, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't know why you yell at LeBron, and I expect to get nothing back.
Yeah, I don't know. But let me give you some statistics about Daddy Carlos, as his name is on Instagram.
Oh, brother.
He has a $80 million net worth.
Christ almighty.
And also, I mean, maybe Juliana Carlos, his wife, has a thing for people in the wine industry because she thinks they age like fine wine, because he does work in the wine industry. So, I mean, maybe that's like he's a big CEO in the wine industry. For people who didn't know, Daddy Carlos, he makes money.
He just stepped to the one person in the building that makes more money than him.
Yeah, really. I think that was more of a testosterone argument. Like LeBron was like, I know this guy. Actually, Daddy Carlos has posted about LeBron numerous times on his Instagram page, hating on him.
I've seen that back when he was on the Cavaliers, even.
Yeah, but now Daddy Carlos has gone private on social media after that last altercation that they had a couple nights ago. So that was really interesting. Who do you think would win the fight, LeBron or Daddy Carlos? How many punches does it take for LeBron to knock him out?
You know, I think Daddy Carlos gets in there, off a little wine, a little tipsy, and he gets slumped one shot.
LeBron's probably the greatest specimen of all time in any sport.
Exactly.
He could have done boxing, baseball, if he played baseball. If he just chose to pick that path. He could have played football. Obviously, he was like a first-team All-State wide receiver in high school.
Yeah, he was like the best receiver in the state of Ohio. Like what?
He could have done anything. He could have done anything athletically in his life, and he would have been the greatest, probably.
I can agree with that to a sense. To a sense.
We'll just play hypotheticals. We don't have to get into the gritty, nitty, logistical part of it. But any sport, LeBron would have been the best. That's my
Yeah, he'll
opinion.
find great success, and yes, sir, he will.
And Graham and I both agree that LeBron is the greatest basketball player of all time. So, if anyone wants to come on this show and debate us on that topic, come right ahead.
Yeah, where the Jordan lovers at? Where they at?
Yeah, come on, Jordan lovers. I know a couple Jordan lovers at school. They can face our wrath. We got some knowledge.
Yeah, we packed that thing too.
Yeah. Come on. All right, so we're done disputing the LeBron courtside Karen and Daddy Carlos episode. We're gonna talk about the AllStar Game that was originally canceled. It was supposed to be in Indianapolis in a normal year. Obviously, we didn't really have that. You know, we didn't have anything normal in 2020 or going into 2021. But now with Chris Paul and the Players Association and the NBA just agreed to have an All-Star Game March 7th in Atlanta. Graham, good call or bad call?
I think it's a horrendous call. And I think the players think it's a horrendous call. I think the fans think it's a horrendous call. I don't know why they're doing this. They have all these protocols set to prevent COVID, and then they're having everyone go out to Atlanta from different teams to play a game, a meaningless game. It's ridiculous.
And they said they might do the like the skills challenge and the dunk contest, but why? Like they can
Who
do
cares,
this all
bro?
when there's no one cares about this really.
Who won the 3-point contest 3 years ago? I don't know. I'm not sure. You know why? Because it means about nothing.
Mic drop. Yeah, I mean the best players don't even participate in those events anyway.
Exactly. Like, and Aaron Gordon's not doing the dunk contest. That man's retired. So who cares? It's done.
I mean, I can see my boy Dante DiVincenzo getting in there for the dunk
Christ
contest.
Almighty, he's not in a dunk contest. All love to Dante, but he ain't stepping with the big hitters of the dunk
Yeah, and
community.
for the new viewers who don't know, Graham and I are both from Delaware. That's why we had the support for Chrissy Godwin and now Dante.
We got to put on for 302. We got to.
They're both probably going to be on the show eventually, but it's going to take time.
That's a goal, and we're getting there.
That's a goal. All right. But I thought it was interesting how De'Aaron Fox was the first person to give a sound on this opinion of the All-Star game, even though he's not even going to be in it.
Yeah,
Like
he's
I was
definitely
looking,
from the outside looking in on this situation. So at first glance, you might sense some jealousy, maybe some envy. But now that LeBron and Giannis have both also said something, I think it settles the water a little bit.
yeah, the credentials have definitely been locked down now. But De'Aaron Fox was like,
Mm.
yeah, if I get in, I'll play. You know they'll fine you if I don't. It's like, no, you wouldn't play in the All-Star game. You've never been there before. Like, you're like 22.
Yeah,
Like,
someone
play
like
the game.
him, I think he really needs the All Star game more than like LeBron or Giannis would need it, and I find it hard to believe that he doesn't want an All Star game if he would be in.
No, I don't think he was expecting that question.
He definitely wasn't. He was just talking, you know.
I mean, they just beat the Celtics. I mean, that's a miracle in its own. I'm a big Celtics fan, by the way.
He was
But,
running on adrenaline.
Yeah, he was running on adrenaline. He was talking that gas. The only reason why I feel like the NBA players might want to play in this game is because this game would provide COVID relief and money and awareness for HBCUs universities, which many of these players are invested in those causes. But I guess they can just write a check to HBCUs and to the COVID relief. I don't think they need to play a game to spread awareness.
Yeah, or do what the NFL did. They did the Pro Bowl on Madden. Just do it like a 2K thing.
That was funny. Did you watch that?
Yeah, the commentary was hilarious. They could definitely do something online like that.
Yeah, they just get two funny guys like Snoop Dogg and who was on the East side.
It was
I mean the AFC.
I forget. You know, I'm just gonna say it. I forget.
I don't know, but Snoop Dogg made that. He was just he's actually very smart when it comes to basketball. I was listening to him on a TV show the other day, and like that man knows his stuff about the Lakers. He's a big Lakers fan, Pittsburgh Steelers fan in the NFL. He knows what he's talking
Wasn't
about.
he a dunk contest judge at one point?
I think so.
He's involved with the NBA. He could definitely make something like that happen.
Yeah, and I thought that he was like high all the time. Like that's the persona I got from Snoop Dogg. But I don't think you can be that high and talk that as intellectually as he did on the TV show I saw him the other day. So he must.
I think
either
he's
be
very
really,
high, Will.
He must be really like adjusted to being high all the time, or he was not stoned when he was talking.
I think Snoop Dogg is extremely high, and he is just he tolerates it well.
He's trained. He's trained.
He's a professional when it comes to that aspect.
Well, good for Snoop. I mean, not many people can do what he does.
He's one of a kind.
He's one of a kind. Now, sticking with the NBA, Graham, who's your MVP so far in the NBA this year?
I believe there's only one answer right now. I think that's Joel Embiid.
You know, I did a lot of data analytics last night. I gathered statistics, and I can confirm your statement.
I think the
Joel
only
Embiid's
right
the
answer is
MVP.
Embiid. He's gonna get MVP. The only way he doesn't get MVP is if he misses too many games, because he has missed like 5 games already so far.
Yep, he's played 18 games out of the team's 23.
That's the only way he doesn't get it, because when you watch this man, his offensive and defensive presence, you can't find it. Like Jokic, I guess, is his other competition, and LeBron. Jokic doesn't do it on the defensive end. He just doesn't. So I don't really
No.
care. And they have a worse
Jokic-
record.
Jokic is and yeah, they're 12-9. Jokic has 26-8 and 8-12, which is obviously great. But their team's not like really gelling as well as they should. I feel like the MVP's got to be on the best team because if you're or one of the best teams. Do you agree?
If he's like 6th, 7th seed, maybe even 5th, I don't think that's good enough to get it. Unless you're like Russell Westbrook, that one year where he just had a historic year, it's just not going to happen.
I saw when I was looking at the stats yesterday, I saw this stat called wins, which is like how much wins you really account for. Like if you weren't playing, how many less wins your team would have.
Okay.
And so, what was interesting is even though Embiid, I agree with you, he's an MVP. He was out of the players that I looked into: Jokic, LeBron, KD, Embiid, Steph, Kawhi, Giannis, and Bradley Beal. I had to do it for you.
Let's go,
Um,
Wizards gang. There's my boy John Wall right above me.
he was only fourth Embiid, and maybe that's because he's played less games, but I think he's the MVP still. He's
That's
got to be the
interesting.
MVP.
You know,
I mean, his stats are 29 and 10, and
I think LeBron in the long run is the only competition because that man is not missing any games.
and they're gonna have the best record
They're gonna have the
too.
best record. And you know what? Quite frankly, Anthony Davis is not playing good this year. So LeBron is carrying a lot of weight this year.
But I think what helps with Embiid's case is although Tobias Harris, Ben Simmons, he's got a great cast around him. Like he doesn't have the name AD on his team like LeBron does. So I feel like that might help Embiid when it comes to the MVP vote.
You're right. Yeah, I think it's gonna come down to durability. I really think
Hmm.
it is because if Embiid is resting this much the whole year, it's gonna be hard to win MVP.
Yeah, and they're only going to play 72 games. So, but if he can get 55 to 60 games in, I think he's a lock for MVP if he keeps the statistic production going.
1000%. I don't. The Nets are too discombobulated to like even push their way past the Sixers. So I think it's the Sixers division to lose.
Sixers division or conference?
Conference.
You think the Bucks or Celtics can't give some noise?
Absolutely not.
I think the Celtics, they are just missing someone on the offensive rebounds and defensive. They just need a big who's like really good, and they don't have that right now.
Yeah, I don't think Tice and Tristan Thompson are the answer. I don't
No,
think so.
but Robert Williams is a stud. Third year out of somewhere from I think Houston. He's pretty good,
He
but
he he is scrappy, but he's not the presence that you're looking for to make it
no.
to the next level.
But Tatum and JB, they're averaging combined 54 points a game, which is pretty solid. For like
No, Jalen Brown has taken that next step, and he is one of the top shooting guards in the league.
they just need to get a big point blank. They need Danny Ainge needs to do some trade.
He loves
Whatever
those
he
picks
does.
a little too much. He doesn't want to get rid of them, but in some cases you have to.
Yeah, you just gotta trade those picks. I mean, you don't need any other. You just need. They're missing one piece from being an NBA champion team.
Yeah, they have a pretty solid bench. They have good shooters.
And they have Marcus Smart, gritty guy. Like that's what you need to win a
Yeah,
championship.
Marcus
Every
Smart.
team's got one of those.
Questionable guy with the flops, but we love his hustle.
And his shooting production's gone up the past couple of years. He's hitting threes.
It's a shame he got hurt, but
He'll be
I
back.
think the Celtics will be fine.
Now, if the Wizards make the playoffs and end up 500, with Brad Beal averaging 35 points a game, do you give him any chance of winning MVP? If they make the playoffs with 35 points a game,
No, for the sole reason that James Harden did that last year, averaging like 35 and like 8 assists. That he was like the fourth seed or something, and he didn't get it.
true. True. Bradley Beal's putting up James Harden numbers, not going to get done, I guess.
I love my boy Bradley Beal, but yeah, they're just in too much of a hole. Making the playoffs would be impressive by itself.
And what do you think about him saying he doesn't want to get traded? Do you like that, or do you want him to chase, a chip?
I respect it. I respect that because so many people just get dogged because they just are going the easy route. So I respect it. The thing is though, he's still getting dogged for being loyal. So it's really tough for him. I can imagine the situation he's in. It's
I mean,
definitely
really,
tough.
you can never win when you don't win. When you don't win championships, you can never win any decision you make.
So I respect his decision to stay loyal, but I would like to see him on the Denver Nuggets. I would like a rebuild in Washington, and I would like him to have an opportunity to win.
And who's going to lead that rebuild? Russell Westbrook? Is he just going to
No,
stay?
that man's getting a buyout or he's getting traded. Where it's a full rebuild if we get rid of Beal, because Westbrook, we can't have a 32-year-old huge contract point guard, like leading a rebuild. We just can't.
You heard it here. Graham, he is a Washington Wizards enthusiast. Check out his Twitter handle.
Yeah, it's very entertaining if you want to see just a bunch of rage tweets.
And what's the Twitter? The handle?
Graham _H09. Let's go.
Graham underscore H09. You heard it here. Graham Harrison. So we discussed MVP. I think we both have the consensus that it's going to be Joel Embiid. Now for our last topic of the day, let's get into something interesting that surfaced the web yesterday. It's not really sports, but in this podcast we're going to talk about things other than sports. Little Uzi Vert.
Oh my gosh. What did he do? What did he do? You know what? He took a power drill, and he shoved a $25 million diamond thing right into his forehead. God Almighty, help that man, please.
He's like Vision.
He opened his third eye. That's what he did.
And he referenced Vision on his Instagram post, like on the seventh slide of him like just feeling out his vibe. He posted a picture of Vision and Wanda. And by the way, folks, if you haven't seen Wanda and Vision on Disney Plus yet, it's worth the investment. That's my take. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a big Little Uzi Vert fan. I'm not really big into the rap game, but I think over under 6 months. Does he keep that in?
Well, considering just under 24 hours of him having it, he posted a selfie of blood dripping down his face from it. I'm going to have to go with under 6 months because there's no way you can live with that thing.
All right, new over under 48 more hours.
I'm going with the under. There's no way someone can live with that. It was bleeding from his face. He drilled a hole in his head. What is this?
Imagine like what's gonna be the remains. He's just gonna have a big like screw like.
Dude, he's gonna have a
incision.
dent in his head. He's gonna have a dent. I mean, $25 million to do that. God help this man.
All I can see is Thanos from Infinity War ripping out the last what's it? The last chip?
The last the last stone thing.
Infinity Stone, yeah. All I can envision is Thanos ripping the last Infinity Stone out of Uzi's head and him just, dying. So,
dude, if someone does that to him, he is dying. It's gonna be part 2.
It's gonna be like a water fountain of blood coming out of his head. It's gonna be disgusting.
Oh my gosh, yeah. We don't know what's going on with him. He's always been a different type of guy, painting his nails,
he took it to
getting
the
his
next
hair
level
colored, but
he took it to the next level yesterday.
He definitely did. He's definitely out there in terms of showing himself in a different way.
But you know what? We respect it much as we can, because self-image and showing your true self, we're all about that at the In Rhythm podcast.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
So, Graham, I think we covered all the topics that we were going to discuss today.
I think we just murdered every topic.
I think we murdered every topic. I think that this podcast, we hope to get guests on eventually. If you want to join the podcast, I mean, come on. We would only have 40 minutes.
Come on,
Yeah.
We'll talk anything pretty much.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk LeBron, Jordan. We'll talk Uzi. We'll talk life.
Everything.
And so, that's a wrap. Ladies and gentlemen, please come back when In Rhythm Podcast Part 2 comes out. And I'm Will. I'm out. And Graham.
See y'all.